My name is Jeremy Smith, Citadel Development Services, and these are the top 5 pain points that our clients suffer and that we solve for them. Number 1 is change orders. Number 2 is schedule. Number 3 is permitting. Number 4 is communication. And number 5 is transparency. So when we're thinking about development and how we manage projects, the common pain points for our clients typically revolve around budget, schedule, quality, and communication. And so, no matter if you're building a skyscraper or you're building a restaurant or we're, building a multifamily project, those are the things that we keep in mind. We can cover those problems individually, but a lot of the times the solution is just going to be communication, organization, and a little bit of relentlessness. When it comes to cost on a project, I think everybody that's been involved in any type of construction project has a horror story about cost, budget overruns, change orders. And so we recognize that. And so, we start with communication and transparency. As we're developing budgets, our preference is that we're working really closely with the client. We're working to solidify that budget. And how do we do that? Historical information, historical data. Our team has put together pricing for the entire Texas market on most trades. And so we've got a lot of anecdotal, historical information, data for project costs, whether it's dirt work, concrete, electrical, plumbing, mechanical. We actually go out and get real-time data. So we've got a lot of project partners that we work with in all major markets in Texas. Now, as we get more information and as the design documents are developed and are completed, we're able to send those out and get actual pricing on different trades and scopes of work. Our goal is that, if we're managing the design and the permitting, by the time that we go in for permitting, we've got a solidified budget that is real time, it's contemplated, everything. We try to add more value, try to eliminate surprises, right? Again, we do that through our transparency, through organization, our experience doing this type of work. So along with budget, the other big consideration is schedule, right? So every project we undertake has a pretty definitive schedule, right? Our clients want their finished project as soon as humanly possible. The way we manage that is transparency, communication, relentlessness, partnership with our vendors and contractors throughout the state, discuss schedule with our vendors and our subcontractors. And so when we turn in a bid for a project, we're also supplying a schedule. Now, where we can add a lot more value is if we're plugged in the beginning, where we're doing due diligence, entitlement work, design, permitting, we can get really dialed in on a schedule early on, right? We've got a lot of time to work through all the what ifs and qualify things with our vendors and subs again. The common thing about schedules are they're only as good as the paper they're written on. Every day they change. I think all construction projects are pretty dynamic. Things happen, unexpected challenges. How do we handle that? Every project that we manage starts with us setting weekly huddles or weekly meetings with our clients, as well as the entire vendor team that we need to deal with. And so, we're trying to eliminate surprises. At the same time, we're trying to make sure that everybody's on the same page. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we never have a project go over schedule. It happens. There's just some things that are out of our control, but we try to minimize that. And then the one thing that we will guarantee is that there's not going to be any surprises. One of the big problems is permitting, right? It affects every single project. Delays can stem from permitting issues, cost overruns. There's a lot of issues that can happen if the permitting process is not handled correctly. So what do? We have a team in-house that manages all of our, what we call phase 1 and phase 2 efforts. And that's everything from due diligence, entitlements, permitting, design, and then we hand that off to our team that does construction. When we get to the permitting phase, hopefully, if we've done our job correctly, we have found out all the information that we can about that particular jurisdiction and what their requirements are. You'd be surprised. A lot of teams just think, oh, well, I'm gonna go submit an application for a permit. We're gonna submit the plans and then we're hands off. I can't tell you how many times that different departments that are supposed to review plans didn't get the plans, that they didn't understand what the review times were. And so, their initial forecast of permit approval is way off. We've got a lot of experience managing permits now in most major markets in Texas because we've been through that cycle over and over again. And we know that the different departments inside of Houston, whether you're in Harris County or you're in Montgomery County, right, different time frames. All that to say, it goes back to we've got a great system for managing the permit process. We ask a lot of questions. We do a lot of our own due diligence around what's going to be required, when, how, who, and we put that plan together. And then kind of the icing on the cake is what we call relentlessness, right? We've got our team that is going to stay on top of the process on a daily basis, sometimes on a weekly basis, making phone calls, sending emails, and a lot of times we hop in the car and we drive down and sit at the office of that municipality and say, what do we need to do to move this along? Transparency, organization, relentlessness has really improved our success rate for getting permits pushed through the process and approved per a reliable schedule.